Hello YouTube, it's your boy Adam here. Today we're going to be looking at DRAVEN. So he recently got a buff in 11.19, making him a little bit stronger. You don't need a Last Whisper on him anymore, he's now got a built-in one. The change feels pretty good, to be honest. I've tried him out myself. The gameplay you're seeing now is the first time me trying him. I was just messing around with items, seeing what items go best if you don't need that last Whisper anymore, seeing if he needs a healing item or anything like that. But yeah, it feels good, so we're going to take a look at the comp, and then we're going to go through everything. So let's get into it. Before I do begin with the guide, if you are interested in other TFT comps and guides, I do have other videos on my channels for different comps. Please do consider subscribing. We're on the road to 100 subs, so that would really help me out if you could help me get there. Like the video if you enjoy it. Any comments, any guides you want to see next, let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, let's go. So like we do in all of my videos, here is the table of contents. Are you watching? Is everybody looking? Okay, here it is. So we're going to go through the build, the itemization, the early game, the mid game, the late game, and the positioning. This is everything you're going to need to know on how to play DRAVEN. After this, you should be a god, and I expect you to see him Challenger very soon. Let's go. Okay, moving into the build. So obviously this comp revolves around the Forgotten units and DRAVEN. You can also use Misfortune as a dual backline carry. Any AP items you do pick up, you can put onto her. All attack damage items obviously go onto DRAVEN. If you find yourself getting more AD items than you are AP, then Jax is always a good secondary carry. So this is a look at the comp at level 8. This is what you want your board to look like. Obviously you've got your DRAVEN, your other Forgotten units to give you 4 Forgotten. You've got Ironclad in there with Cavaliers and Knights, and obviously you need a Legionnaire unit. This is flexible, it can be anyone. If you find a Kale, you could have possibly put Kale in. If you are looking at maybe getting 2-star Kale, that's great, go 2-star Kale, she can be another carry for you. Aurelia is always a good choice because she can just tank for so long. Riven is also really good as well. But yeah, the Legionnaire part of it is very flexible. Just you want another Legionnaire so DRAVEN can heal off his autos. If you are looking to go 9, you can think about putting in a Skirmisher. So if you do use Aurelia as your Legionnaire, then with Jax and another unit you can go Skirmisher. Viego is always a good pick because he's also Forgotten. Maybe you can find a Forgotten spot and then get that God comp. You get 6 Forgotten, Skirmishers, Ironclad, everything you need to win the game. Moving on to the itemization. This one it's a little tricky because obviously DRAVEN is so new in 11.19, so we don't really know what BIS for DRAVEN is at the minute. Ideally anything that does damage is great on him. Obviously you don't need that Last Whisper anymore, so you can run like an IE, a healing item like a BT, and maybe another damage item like a Last Whisper or a Bloodthirster, or you could run, not Bloodthirster, sorry, a Deathblade, or you could just run 3 damage items and heal off Legionnaire if there isn't that many Morellos or anti-healing, things like that. It's completely up to you. Like I say, anything that does damage is great. Obviously Misfortune, you want items like Jill Gauntlet. Morellos is also really good for Shojins, things like that. And like I say, any spur AD items you do have, stick them onto Jax, why not? He's just going to be popping off in the back line whilst DRAVEN smacks everyone up front. And then obviously you want to have all of your tank items go onto Hecarim. If you can get Hecarim free, that's great. He's going to tank for even longer. You want to solo frontline him and just surround your DRAVEN. But yeah, just stick Hecarim up there, slam all tank items on him. If you don't get anything decent from your Radiant shop in terms of damage items, pick up a tank item like a Warmogs, a Sunfires, a Brambles, whatever you want. They're all really good on Hecarim. Just slap them on there, let him tank the whole team, you should be fine. Moving into the early game, so you want your early game board to look a little like mine in the game you can see now. With the 11.19 patch, Tristana has just been changed, so she does, instead of being like a kamikaze, just jumping into the enemy Callista and taking a spear to the face and dying, she now jumps away from enemies, so she's a lot better in the early and the mid game, so you can put items onto her, let her be the holder for DRAVEN items. Obviously you want to be picking up those Hecarims and Freshies early on. If you were going to look for Hecarim free, obviously start picking them straight away. You can run like Cavaliers, Cannoneers at the beginning. It's a really good opener. One thing I do want to point out is obviously because Tristana is new and has been changed, a lot of people are going to try and run her. So make sure that you have a look round, because the other Forgotten units could also be contested. You've got people playing Vayne carry or Misfortune carry. So there could be a lot of Hecarims already gone, a lot of Thrashers already gone. If that's the case, and there is a lot of people playing Forgotten, you might want to reconsider playing something else instead of Draven. Oakley dokely, let's take a look at the mid game. So your mid game wants to look something like mine on screen that you can see now. So you want to just be picking up those forgotten units as you go along, and then picking up any cavaliers. You just want to buff out your traits basically. So if you've got a Thrashing, stick Nautilus in to give you knights. If you've got Hecarim in, stick Kled in to give you cavaliers. If you've got the Tristana, then Misfortune is great early on, so you can start getting those forgotten stacks in early. If you are struggling to find Draven, you're not natural in him, and you are losing, you're starting to get below 50 health, then probably at 4-1, I'd go 7 and roll down to find a Draven. You don't need to find Draven 2, just try to find 1 just to stabilise your board, and then you can start getting those forgotten stacks early on. If you are natural in Draven, then obviously just keep high econ, just keep pushing to level 8. Once you get level 8, you can do a proper roll down, go for the Rels, Jacks, Dravens, all of the shebang. But yeah, if you are starting to lose and it's looking like it's going to be an 8th, then you want to try and level up for a better chance of the Draven and roll down for him. If you do have a Nikos and you do find 2 Dravens, then just slam it, just do it. Draven 2 is great. Another thing I do want to point out, obviously, as you get into these late game boards, as you're hitting 7 and 8, you want to be scouting. Scouting is so crucial. It's the most important thing to do in the game. If you're trying to play Draven and 6 other people in the lobby already have Dravens, then there's no chance you're ever going to find him, and you're just wasting your time rolling and wasting gold. Make sure you scout, make sure there's not any other people playing Draven. This comp can handle 2 people running at the same time, but not any more than that. If there's 3 people trying to go Draven and you're the 3rd, just pivot out, play a Aphelios, play something else. It's not worth your time. Let the other 2 people struggle to find the Dravens, and you can easily kill them with other comps. So yeah, I just keep an eye. Like I say, scouting is so important, so make sure you're doing it all the time. Okay, let's move on into the late game. So this is your ideal level 8 board that you can see on screen now. If by 4-5 you've gone to 8, you've rolled down for Draven, you still haven't found him, you should be picking up other carries that you can possibly pivot into. So if you can play Aphelios, play that. If you get an Aphelios 2 when rolling down, play that. It doesn't have to be Draven. If you were in that mindset, then it is going to be a quick 8, and you're going to end up with a Tristana 2 at level 8. You're just going to lose, and you're going to lose hard. So if you're not finding any Dravens, obviously, like I said, make sure you scout, see if anyone else has Draven. If you're just getting unlucky and not finding them, then pick up other potential carries. That could be your item holder for the time being. If not, just pivot straight into that comp instead. It's not worth losing health over. So on screen now is the layout, how you want your level 8 comp to look. Mine looks a little different because I had Zeke, so I decided I'd just corner stack, and then the Jacks can get the buff as well. If you do have Zeke, you can also do the same. If not, then you want to have your Fresh and your Jacks in the middle. Obviously, you want MF in the corner as a fresh bait for any hooks, any CC, anything like that. So Draven's safe where he is. MF will always stay in the corner, and she will always take the hooks. In the case that you manage to find everything 2-star, if you do everything 2-star, you got your Rel 2-star, Jax 2-star, Draven is 2-star. You're picking up Hecarims as you go along. If you are natural in Dravens, pick them up. You can always look to go Draven free. But from this spot, you probably want to save up re-econ and then go to 9. Like I say, you can put in a Viego to give you skirmishes if you've got that Aurelia as your Legionnaire. It's a much stronger board, and Viego is pretty busted. And of course, at 9, you've got better chances of finding more Dravens to get that trusty, worthy god Draven free. If you're in a position where you do get Viego and you are able to level 2 him at level 8, you can look to replace your Legionnaire for a late game Legionnaire like Kale, and just scrap the skirmishes off, and then Viego can replace Misfortune. Kale can go where Misfortune is and be your fresh hook bait, so she's going to stay in the corner. Obviously Draven is still safe, and you've got Viego too. Makes your comp even stronger, and you can put your AP items onto a mixture of Viego and Kale. So the positioning for this comp, like I said, obviously you want a MF in the corner. If you find Kale, put her there. Draven's going to be next to her in the row above. You're going to have your Legionnaire, or if, in my case, I had Fresh there for my Zeeks and any Banshees you've got, anything like that. Any utility buff can go on Fresh there, and then put someone on the other side of Fresh to give someone else a buff. Ideally, you want to be positioning your Draven and your MF towards the side of the carries. So if you're playing against, I don't know, for example, a Heimerdinger, and they're positioned left side, then Draven wants to be left side. So you want Draven to move through the front line, start walking up, and then eventually get to the Heimerdinger. If he's positioned opposite side, then Heimer's going to be the last thing that he hits. You don't want that. You want to get him killed as soon as possible. So like I said, there's a good chance that Draven's going to walk up and then start targeting the Heimer after he's got through the front line. So yeah, you just want to make sure you're scouting. If you are facing a lot of people who are positioning left side, then you want to position left side as well. If it's a 50-50, then just try your best and try and work it out. So that brings us towards the end of the video. I'm going to let the last few fights play out, as obviously you can see I hit Draven free on a roll there, which was very lucky, thanks to the second Nikos from the Dragon. So I'll let you watch the Draven free gameplay, see what he's capable of. I think this game was a strong second or a third, but obviously the Draven free just took it over the edge. You can carry on watching to find out what happens. But yeah, I think Draven's in a good spot in the meta at the moment. He's definitely a lot stronger since the buff. So he is going to be moving up in the rankings. I don't think he's S tier, but he's definitely up there. He's definitely high A tier. So if you do find a lot of Dravens, then you obviously can go for him depending on your items. But yeah, like I say, any damage items on the moment is good for him until the meta's settled and we can find out what BIS is. But if you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like. I do upload multiple times a week, so consider subscribing for more TFT comps and guides. Like I say, we're on that road to 100 subs, so if you could help me get there, that would be brilliant. Any guides that you want to see next, any comments you have on the recording, anything like that, let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.